Whoa.
Okay.
Okay, so it was going to get into a not lane.
We were exiting a lane there that we were not supposed to be exiting. And that's that indecisiveness that you could feel in the older version. And that's why I was like
Sees
I said,
the stop.
and here comes a car that's hidden behind shrubs, and there it is, a little dimmer. And there we are.
there we go.
This time we have no one coming at us,
No
so
one
it's not
coming
going to have to
at us.
hesitate. No hesitation
Rolls
at all.
right in.
Isn't that beautiful? Yeah.
That is so good. And because we are humans in control of this machine, we can use our little monkey paws and go. Just go. And that's the whole point of a supervised system.
You really think my hands look like monkey paws?
100%.
I don't know what you mean.
FSD Beta 11 versus 12. We're going to do two cars on the same route on the same day at roughly the same time to give it the equal test, see what we've got going on and how it goes. I have my theories, but I'm excited to find out how it does. We're going to do about 3 miles
Yeah, probably.
to a location and back.
Target. There we go, right there.
2.6 miles. For those scoring along at home, this is day 3 of when will I get version 12? And I don't have it yet, but we'll find out because we'll be getting on Wi-Fi later today. Who knows? Maybe today is my lucky day.
Before you drive home at least, huh?
That'd be nice.
So let's see how it behaves in terms of...
First stop sign, empty, quiet street.
Yeah.
Stops normal, looks. Oh, that is...
Pretty slow.
That
Pretty
is a
slow.
little slow.
The neighbors would be honking by now.
But
Or cutting around you.
there's
because-
also 10:45 a.m. on a weekday.
Whoa, where are we going there?
Not the most
We're
traffic.
doing a little lane centering issue right there.
500 feet. Turn
Not too
left
bad, though.
onto Area
I wouldn't
Road.
complain about that if it was a
No.
human or a machine.
No, could be some kid checking their phone while driving. You know how those are.
I do.
I've seen a few.
Now turn left onto Area Road.
It's all our snacks.
Oh, look at this guy stopping. Not
Very
almost.
aggressive.
Yeah.
Very
500
aggressive.
Yeah.
feet. Turn right onto Raymond Park Expressway West.
I haven't touched any controls yet, other than starting this up.
So far, so good.
Now turn right onto
I'm
11.
not touching them. I'm there to
Expressway
ready to grab it
West.
when I need to, but
Right into the bike lane. Perhaps a little more.
and then this sometimes they stop back here, but it's doing a good job. No, see, here's what I was talking about. The wheel is going to do a little bit of
Dancing.
jockeying for position or whatever you call that. Just indecisive moves. Okay, now it's still a red light. It could go. I could nudge it here.
No.
Let's just wait out because
Give
there's no
it
one
the
behind
test.
us. Oh, I should put the mirror, adjust the mirror properly. There we go. Yeah, haven't figured out when it's going to go.
Wow.
And it's a red light, but you can turn right on red in California. At least you have been able to for about the past, 40 years? Something like that.
Wow. It is just hanging
It's like
out.
it's sleeping. Shall we give it a nudge now?
I think so because we got a car behind
coming
us
up
now.
behind us. Oh, then of course there's one coming down the road now. But we were there for 10 minutes without a visitor.
Uh-huh.
So give it some nudges, and then feel the jerkiness there?
I do.
That's the kind of stuff that I'm not feeling in 12 when I run it. So that's why I wanted you to see this difference. I think there's some pretty substantial differences. And I only noticed it because one day I had just gotten 12. We had gone driving in it. And then I got back in Lisa's car, which had the older one. I was like, holy Toledo. You don't realize how different it feels until you literally compare the two side by side. So
now we're on 2 miles of super, super easy drive where all it has to do, apart from not crash, is change lanes.
and stop for a few signals and things. And yeah.
Well, I put that under the broad umbrella of don't crash.
Sure. There's one that we used to drive another route out here, and it would miss a flashing red stop sign. It wasn't a normal stop sign setup. It was a pretty odd one, but it missed it, I think, 2 out of 3 times. I was flagging it and talking about it into the labeling.
Here's some advice for our friends at Tesla. Tell us what is a good disengagement report.
Yeah.
We'd
really.
love to know what it is we can say to give you better feedback. I
Even a
assume
script
it's-
of keywords would be good.
That's all we need because I
so we can
assume
make better labels.
it goes into voice recognition and then they pull as needed rather than they certainly
Right.
aren't reviewing every one. There's too many.
Right, and at least an initial label for the videos, which might just be some profanity screamed loudly when it first did it for some folks in some moments.
I did have a gentleman say in the comments, you can leave the climate control on, we can't hear it. I assure you, you would be able to hear it.
For my taste, it stops a little bit too far back, should creep up a little more.
I find this distance to be fine.
It is fine.
With the camera this far forward and up,
Yeah.
it looks, but from where I'm sitting, it actually looks...
Yeah, it's about a car length.
I can see your wheels,
Yeah.
but
For me, when the traffic gets busy, you want to, even if you stop here initially, roll on up a little to give people behind you more room to get by, things like that. So that's where I'm at. But I don't ding it for that per se. It's just one of those things that would be nice if it crept up a little and snuggled up to the car in front of it a little.
okay, we've got 1.2 miles to get over. Easy enough.
All right, to Unnamed Road. It's a very important place, Unnamed Road. So important they didn't come up with a name for it.
I see it on my map all the time. It must be very famous.
It's a big, long road, isn't it? It's in every town. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Whoa, whoa,
Okay.
whoa. Okay, so it was going to get into a not lane.
We were exiting a lane there that we were not supposed to be exiting.
I don't know where the hell it was going.
Turn lane was there, and it would have ended up at the back of the firehouse behind the library, from what I can
Turn the
tell.
blinker off.
Yeah, I should try that, huh?
Go ahead and put it back.
There we go. And
Back in.
now we're back in autopilot again. Well, not quite yet, because I had my foot on the...
It engages differently than in your X.
Right. Hang on a second. I'll get back in my brain again and start working correctly. There we go.
So that disengagement was necessary because it was going to put us in what looked like a bus stop.
It would have actually, if it followed that to the right, it would have gone to the back of the firehouse. There's a firehouse back there and things like that. Public safety building, they call it on that sign over there. Yeah.
So that's not good.
Just wasn't on the plan.
.6 miles, still not getting over. As a human, I'd have gotten over
It heard you.
long ago.
It heard you. Now, the odd thing here is it doesn't want to get to the far left lane. Because over the intersections, coming up over the freeway, you don't want to be in that far left lane or you'll be stuck going a way you probably don't want to go on this route. So it'll try and take you onto the freeway, I believe. So, but yeah, so it's awkward, this particular set of lanes.
I'll tell you a feature I'd like to see on FSD when it is feature complete. Tours. There's no reason it can't be your tour. Drive you to this place, pull you up, say this building
And have a
was...
little narration
Yeah, that's
from Google.
Yeah, that's an app someone could build if developers are permitted to. I know they're allowing apps to be built. So give us tours. Give us driving tours of the historic areas. It's neat that city planners can make it so that all of the lights are timed in just such a way that you spend maximum time in the city.
Yeah, you bet. Oh, come on, guys. And such great scenery, too. You don't get to see the freeway from this many angles.
I mean,
without
does
stopping in
your
2 or 3
town have a
places.
mini mall with a motel next to it? I mean, it does, but that's not the point. All right, so we are almost there.
And this is where we don't want to go to the left lane. It's doing nicely. I mean, thankfully, might make it through this signal. Holy Toledo.
Oh, have you driven a Tesla before? There we go. Correct lane. Good, good.
Yeah, because you can see where you would have been trapped otherwise in a left turn lane. Because the number 1 lane there changes into a turn lane.
Because I know it wants to work entirely on vision, but it has to have some map integration or you will be in the wrong lane sometimes.
And the newer ones seem to be getting a little better at that. Because they get into the lanes a little earlier. I noticed the tail lights are lit up on the car ahead of us. Seeing that properly, and the one next to it and everything else. It recognizes the truck nicely over there, and And I've gotten used to it now where I watch the blue line to see where the car is going to go.
It
I
is.
used to.
It's inching.
It is.
Which is
it's getting ready. Yeah.
a pretty human behavior.
Mm-hmm.
It's doing so well on this drive, it doesn't feel as beta as it does in some places.
Yeah. I mean, other than the one weird course change that it tried to make on us for no good reason. Are we supposed to be in the turn lane? I think we might be. Yeah.
Now,
I'm not fighting it because that seems
now
to be the right
legally,
place.
I wouldn't change lanes in an intersection.
You can though.
Can you?
Yes, as far as I
okay.
know, it's legal. You can select the lane you're going to end up in now.
Yeah. Christ.
That stuff in the back seat.
Yeah.
And I got to nudge it because there's a guy right behind me and he's caught out.
So
There we go. I just had to interact because there was a person behind me caught in the intersection that the car didn't even care about.
And now I would go ahead and distance.
It's got it.
We're still going.
Mr. Toad is
Whoa.
in command at this point.
That is a wild ride.
Yeah, you know, it did its best. For a teenager, it's probably okay.
Let's
Is
see if
gonna
it catches
stop
the
sign?
stop sign. It did.
Oh, very nice.
So now we're doing the drive back.
500 feet, turn right onto Village Park Expressway West.
Should be less eventful because we know the path and it's an easy path.
Now turn.
And there's the old. Oh God, what are you doing?
Not bad.
Not too bad.
Not bad. Not
A
great,
little
but not
uncomfortable, but not dangerous,
it's the-
not deadly.
bad. It's the hesitancy that's different. The surety when it moves. You'll see it in 12.
Being predictable behind the wheel is important. We're changing lanes. Nobody in our spot.
No, it did a fine job of checking there.
Good.
I looked
Good,
to
good,
see there
good.
was no one there, but
Mhm.
yeah, so far so good. I think it's why I came to the conclusion that the processor was just not as taxed with the newer system, because the old system seems to hem and haw and shuffle about a bit when it's trying to make those kinds of decisions, and the new one just says, okay, time to go, and it does it. And so it feels like it's able to reach conclusions more fully than this version does. And maybe that's just the 300,000 lines of code, who knows, you know?
We will find out
Yeah.
when we do the second part of the video.
I mean, I'm sure compared to the other products that are out there, this is still better than most in this version.
So we are going to turn the climate control back on so people can tell us if the breeze really is noticeable or not.
Well, and if you turn up the
Wow.
temp to a little bit like 74, won't run quite as loud, possibly.
Oh, so much better.
It is nice, yeah. And it signals to tell me
It's-
which lane it's going to pick.
Oh, is that what it was doing?
It seems like it. It's not actually changing lanes, but there are two, and it was saying, I'm going to go this way. So it puts a couple signal flashes there, and then it goes that way. Which, if you're watching the blue line, you'll see which way it wants to go anyway. But, yeah, it does that occasionally. I'm guessing it's just to signal the driver, because the car doesn't need to do that lane change signal. What's fun is when it's in a disappearing right lane, and it doesn't signal. It just waits for it to disappear and drifts in. And I always signal in those moments, but maybe it's not that big a deal in the law. Well, then, like I say, when I was giving it a nudge out of the intersection back there, it's only because there was a guy behind me that
Right.
was now stuck out in the intersection until I moved. And if the car stopped there, it would have been bad. So,
Yes. And we don't know how bad, but
no.
we're not trying to find out. We're
It
not
would have been
trying
at
to-
minimum rude
Yes.
and at maximum bad. So,
And because we are humans in control of this machine, we can use our little monkey paws and go. Just go. And that's the whole point of a supervised system.
you really think my hands look like monkey paws?
100%.
I don't know what you mean.
Now, this is a stretch of road I would expect even Blue's Clues to work on.
Clue. A clue. And the car, I would go right now.
I would go for sure.
I would go.
Oh,
We'll
Lord.
let it sit here. There's no one behind us, so we'll let it sit here. It took it that long to decide. You see,
Not
that's.
too bad.
But keep that in mind when we see the other one,
Turn left onto Kingwood Road.
because I'm
Well, who knows
pretty
if we'll
convinced
even
that's
go
one of
there.
the big differences.
Who knows if we'll even go the same
Turn
path?
left onto Kingwood
Usually it
Road.
does. Usually it does do that path, for some reason. And whether it's technically the shortest or not, or maybe they just consider it the fastest because the speeds on the expressway are higher than the local neighborhood. But yeah, and we stop here a lot to check our mail, so it's probably trying to decide what to do.
It's trained on you checking your
Yes,
mail.
exactly. You never know.
Okay, so 11 dot.
That was a little
Awfully
awkward too,
good.
that turn.
Awfully good. We're in a different car now, obviously, white interior. So we've got beta 12.3. update,
Just received. We haven't driven on it at all yet.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Not on this car. On the other car of yours, you have the update city streets, driving to a single end-to-end stack, neural network trained, millions of clips, replacing over 300,000 lines of explicit, not safe for work, C++ code.
That's definitely a plus plus. Increment by one, definitely.
What's one more, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Are we ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go.
Okay, more aggressive.
And Rainbow Road, like I told you.
That felt more human. That felt more like how I would.
More secure in its decision. That's my point. I think that's really the difference.
Right up on that car.
And Lisa gets very nervous of those, and I do too a little, but it does do a good job of hanging in there. Stops behind the line nicely, and then moves kind of in one clean move, you know?
All right.
To me, it just feels more secure in its choices.
Yes. Feels more natural, feels more human to me.
And I wouldn't have noticed except the day after, 2 days after I got 12.3 on my car, on my Model X, all of a sudden I went back to driving this one under 11 and I went, wow, this really is different. It does feel quite a bit different.
Solterra there.
Let's see what it's going to do. Let them go through, I hope. Yep. And waiting for traffic, and here we go.
Well, that's a Hyundai. Oh,
Yeah, I think
well,
that's
a
the new Kona. Yeah.
Yeah. It's got those
It's
big
a nice car.
rubber fenders.
And they come in all electric as well, which is an advance, and they have for years. Although the original one only did like 140 miles on battery, which was good for city use, not much good for long trips.
Dirt pile.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go. Same thing, except this time it didn't sit
Wait
there.
forever.
It didn't park
Yeah.
and ask us to start looking for
Yeah,
apartments.
last time it felt like it nodded off. Little Rip Van Winkle action back last time. Now it's like cruising right along. We should have timed the whole trip. That would have given you, of course we could with the video
yeah,
anyway.
the video.
Gives you a sense of how long it was.
That's something we'll do is at the end we'll show you the time difference between the two trips.
Yeah. Looks like this time we'll hit all the red lights again to
Yes.
be consistent.
But we're hitting it with more roll time in between. We'll get through this light quicker.
Exactly. Can't tell that's not an electric one. It would have some badging if it were.
I see a tailpipe.
Yeah, yeah. They have a hybrid and an electric and a crummy old gas car one as well.
Well, what they've chosen to do is focus on everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you focus on all of the above, you know what they say.
You get nothing great.
Oh, that's right.
Something like that. They also probably will come out with an H2 version based on our
Oh,
experience
Lord.
at CES. They'll have an H2 Kona. Because that's the future. We just don't
Hyundai is not done with hydrogen.
Oh, they're done. They just wanted to delay it one more year. So they could get their Tesla
it
plugs
changed
in
lanes.
place.
It got us over here.
It did, very
So
nicely.
now we're not
earlier
even-
than last time.
Well, now we're not even in the
We're not
crazy
close to the
turnoff
fire
zone.
department lane. And it's not the software used to hesitate with these railroad crossings here for our local trolley, and it doesn't do that anymore, which is nice. Of course, when I originally got autopilot years and years ago, it would stop at the tops of hills because it couldn't see over them.
Oh.
So it's gotten quite a bit better than that. Blind corners and hills no longer freak it out. And I mean, if you were a new driver, they might freak you out too. When you can't see the road ahead of you anymore.
Especially if I was a new driver in an alien world.
Exactly, which essentially this is.
Which for the robots.
Mm-hmm, exactly. It's not even an infant that's seen a road continue over the top of a hill before. Yeah, so far so good. You just
It doesn't feel like it is driving. It feels like you are driving.
And I've had my feet and hands, other than resting my hand for the nag on the wheel.
Oh, that nag?
Yeah, that old nag on the wheel. Other than that, haven't had a problem. I'm glad you caught that. Didn't want to get us a strike for just being silly. But, and this one does have the camera tucked way up there to keep an eye on your eyes.
Even though it's an older model.
There it was again. Nagging me again because my fingers weren't tugging at the wheel just a little.
Oh, look.
Yeah.
You're in nanny mode.
Good. Good. I shouldn't be trusted, that's for sure.
But what if I want to go 85 in the Target parking lot?
Yeah. I always love it when people say, well, don't you want to drive your own car? Why would you want to let that? I say, no, I'm 62 years old. I am not getting better at driving every year. I'm more than happy to let a machine take over for the parts I'm bad at.
Yeah, I've experienced full Jeff driving.
Yeah, you know, stop signs or nope, went right through that one.
So 0.3 miles to get over, two
no.
lights to clear.
But we don't want to get over yet because of this weird turn lane thing. So it's doing great.
Oh yeah, it's
doing
in the
great.
right lane.
And it's going to go across this intersection into the turn lane on the other side, and that's the correct one.
Full Brian driving would have gotten over.
I've done it many times. It traps me too. In the early days when I lived here, it definitely trapped me a few times, that roadway change, the extra turn lane.
In the comments, could you encourage my children to try driving my car because they're afraid it's so valuable and wonderful.
Yet. But it is signaling more properly this time.
They're just afraid they're going to hurt it. And especially on the highway, I'm telling them, my friend, all you have to do is supervise. Nice and easy.
And this time we have no one coming at us, so it's not going to have to hesitate. No hesitation
Rolls
at all.
right in.
Isn't that beautiful? Yeah.
That is so good. So I'm going to tell you, this drive was at least a minute and a half too shorter, maybe
Easily.
20% faster.
Yeah, and it's taking us directly to the chargers as it kind of wanted to last time, but then it hesitated.
Oh no, it's going here
kind
again.
of did some weird things here, right? Yeah.
Same spot.
But it's not going to go across.
And let's see if it stops at the stop, and that's the end of this test.
Yeah. You notice it didn't try to go across the parking areas.
It didn't go.
Which the other one did a little bit of. And that's that indecisiveness that you could feel in the older version. And that's why I was like
Sees
I said,
the stop.
And here comes a car that's hidden behind shrubs, and there it is, a little dimmer. And there we are.
And there we go.
In fact, it's taking us to the Target front door, which the other one wasn't going to do.
Oh, no, it was. We just did.
It's true. We stopped.
Okay, Stellantis.
I don't see a tailpipe, though, actually.
Well, Stellantis has been, and at Fiat Chrysler even, has been very instrumental in giving Tesla money.
Yeah, that has been very
for
nice
not
of them.
Producing.
I've collected it in the form of stock benefit over the years. I certainly
So
know
as
that.
soon as we get back on the road here, we're going
Tried to use the turn signal,
re-engage.
didn't go. Didn't quite
That's
hit it
full
hard
Jeff
enough.
driving.
Yeah.
Failed to signal is what I will put you down for on this checklist.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
The
yeah,
DMV hasn't asked me to do a test for a long time.
So I
They think I'm a good driver because I
Right.
haven't gotten any accidents or hurt anybody, thankfully.
Right here's
Right there, actually. Yeah, but
right
there we
there.
go.
Yep. Okay, same drive back.
Okay, now here there's some traffic coming, it looks like. Let's see how it's doing. Yeah, pretty well. Stops back a little farther, but then assertively moves forward when it's ready. And doesn't hesitate nearly as much. You feel that?
Yeah,
It is notably different.
it feels very smooth.
Look at that license plate frame.
Okay, do you follow Jesus this close?
I love it. That's great.
Effectively
seen one like that.
sassy. Wow. That's
How
what
would-
I think
how would
all
Jesus-
religions can get behind.
How would Jesus drive? You know? And what would Jesus drive?
A Honda.
Well, he wouldn't pollute, I can guarantee you that.
No, it says in the Bible. He didn't speak of his own accord.
There you go.
You know, the video's going to be boring, Jeff. It's just doing it.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Yeah. like I said, I drove it one day, 12.3, and then I came back to 11, and I could not believe the difference. In fact, it might have been 12.1 at that time. But no, it was 12.3. It was 12.3. It just, phenomenal difference in the way it handles the car. The way it handles itself as a robot car, which these are. You can see the network's got that driveway plotted out right there. And the turn lanes are labeled correctly.
The close light.
Right turn lane and the bike lane is correctly labeled right next to us. The big green bike lane. So it's doing a great job of reading the markings.
And to use only cameras and still have an accurate read on that many objects.
Mm-hmm. Reading pixels.
People have criticized sometimes it'll show a semi when it's a train. Hey, either one is an obstacle, don't hit it.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason it looks is because you're getting more data. Other companies' visualizations may only show you boxes or things that make it less clear that it doesn't know what it's looking at. It sees the green lights.
Yep, there's the green lights. Nags me about the wheel just a bit. I wonder if they'll turn the wheel nag such that it doesn't bother you when the car's not moving.
I didn't
notice it there, but I was kind of wondering if it was doing ignoring me, not counting the time that I'm not actively holding it.
It's been my experience that nags are less frequent when you're in stop and go traffic.
Which it should be, because the car can easily handle that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It has been for years now. My cars have spotted hazards before I did a few times while driving. So yeah, the trust builds pretty quickly once you start letting it. Which is not to say you should trust these completely yet at all, but they're getting better fast.
What frustrates me is the criticism, the skepticism, the hesitation that we see pointed at Tesla is not pointed at other makers of level 2 systems.
Right. Let's take a look at Super Cruise and see just how it's holding up.
Yeah, Super Cruise, Blue Cruise, even Toyota's ADAS system.
Yep.
Are they that much better?
Drive Super Cruise one day and then try to drive it the next day in an area where there's construction going on now. You'll be surprised. Because it can't handle that. It maps out streets beforehand. And if they don't match, then it doesn't run. It'll be interesting to see how they come up with it.
The boys asked me on the screen, they said, how does it know that those are cones when we saw some cones? And I said, I mean, how do you know they're cones?
Mm-hmm. And I'm guessing it doesn't lean that hard on color because at night color would be hard to detect. So mostly shapes and would be the primary way of identifying things. I'm also curious as to whether these cars have any infrared capability in the cameras. Because if they can read a higher spectrum than we can and see a higher spectrum, there's more information out there than we're seeing.
Yep.
And that could be an interesting way to do more with the cameras than most people think is possible.
So I asked Sandy from Monroe and Associates about that, about taking a camera that goes just a little bit into the infrared, and he said it would be a perfect solution because it can still process it as visual data and not a new set of data, and that he wouldn't be surprised to find that they're already or will soon be going a little bit into the infrared. Not quite all the way to FLIR, but partway.
Right, because most of these cameras can handle more spectrum than we realize.
Right, that's
we
why
don't
your
need
phone
it.
can
We don't
see
use them.
the light coming out of your remote control.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All the videos we see of people driving around in the Cybertruck, they're just constantly being interrupted by people giving the thumbs up.
Yeah. Can't wait to get mine.
I can't wait for you to get yours.
I'll be coming up to see you, that's for sure. It'll be fun.
We just went past a sign that said changed conditions ahead, and I feel that sums up life.
We haven't even noticed yet what those changes were, and we've been here for months and months.
Oh, I thought you were going to blinker it.
No.
Oh,
yeah,
good.
I was thinking about it, though.
You were thinking about it.
You read my mind a little, which must have been terrifying.
Yeah, that's part of my beta. Oh, it was terrifying. Oh, God, that glimpse.
Yeah.
Lordy.
Certain places you just shouldn't go. And with those kinds of bits of humor, you can see why it is I produce Brian's videos. Because, well, I like that kind of sick, twisted humor.
Yes. Jeff, longtime producer of the channel, thank you so much.
You're quite welcome. It's been a joy. All that trailer for that little kayak.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Once again, assertively taking off just fine. And moving ahead of the other car so we can get to the left nicely. Don't know what we'd do if there'd been another Tesla there deciding to drag race us right at that moment.
Oh gosh, you get stuck in a feedback loop where you both accelerate.
I do believe at some point they'll let the cars talk. Because why not? You know, oh no, after you. No, after you. Oh no, you.
Security,
Yeah.
hackability.
That's probably the number one reason why they won't. But they could even filter it through the hive mind back at the mothership, you know, way back when. They could filter it through there and make sure it's all secure. It would only be microseconds of time for the bounce. Even if you did, it would be like a half second if you went through, what's the Starlink thing? There's that flashing yellow again. Now it's a solid yellow. And we're going to have to stop because somebody triggered the light. Not sure whom, because there doesn't seem to be anyone. Oh, the pedestrian. And a pooch. A ped and a pooch. And there they go. Over to the college campus.
Happy little dog.
Yeah.
Uneventful. We drove both directions with no interventions.
Other than me being stupid and changing lane once when I wasn't supposed to. Other than that, we did all right.
That intervention didn't need to happen. You chose.
That's true,
to
yeah.
do.
Yeah, I accidentally, my brain drifted from us doing an experiment to just driving. Because I'm so used to it.
So there you go. Not the most exciting video because the better these get, the less exciting they're supposed to get. Tomorrow or the next day, very soon I'm going to have a video I shot a month ago. It was my last version 11 drive in Longview and it was terrifying. And I've been holding off on releasing it because it comes across very negative because it was a very, very bad drive with all kinds of problems. I've got version 12 coming soon, I hope. I'm on day 3 of waiting. Who knows? I may have it right now. But right now we're playing the game. How long until I get version 12 of the beta? So it's going to be fun, interesting. And in the meantime, don't view that one tomorrow too critically because I'm not critical. I'm skeptical, deeply skeptical based on experience. And, you know, what do we miss? What do we misunderstand? What should we have done on this drive differently? Everybody else, like, subscribe, do the usual things. Stay tuned, stay juicy, and I cannot wait to hear from you clever robots when I get version 12.